Tony Lane's the leading kick getter on the ground with 6, followed by Hoban, who's probably best on ground with 5. Alan Jennings 5 for Traralgon, while for Morwell, Peter Hall 5, Brett Stanistreet 5, and Mark Pearson Dixon 4 each.
Thank you, John. There's the bounce of the ball in the centre. Second quarter underway here at the 1985 Grand Final. Diving his way through is Cole McCall. The umpire said he was grabbed. Take a free kick, son, and he will do it. Of course, he also being a former Traralgon player. Cole McCall getting his kick out of the centre, high, wide and handsome. Down it goes in the low direction. Sanders gets hands to it. Oh, there's a push in the back. The umpire has seen it. Anybody could have seen that one, and it's going to be Stephen Allison to take it down there as he... Oh, gee, I tell you what, I thought he might have hurt himself, but he hasn't. He's just got a bit of cramp in the leg there. Shakes out that weary injury, and this would be a very handy goal for Stephen Allison and, of course, also for the Morwell Football Club. They trail by 17 points at the moment as we have played... not very long in this, the second quarter, about 1 minute. By gee, it's going close to the post. The umpire says no, and there's another bad miss for the Morwell side. Stephen Allison has already kicked a goal, and now he's kicked it behind, so 1-1, his contribution to the 3-6, 24 on the board.
Should have kicked that, Stephen.
There's the kick out by Jeff Dyer. Dyer puts it high, wide and handsome. It's a 70-metre kick down towards the centre of the ground. Rowe picks it up. He sends it forward underneath it. Metcalf, however, and Metcalf for Morwell. Number 10 stamped on his back has taken the mark on the defensive side of the centre. He kicks it towards the southern end of this Moe Vale Street Oval. To the ground it goes. Dwyer tried but couldn't. McCall will. He'll take it through, then get trapped. Now it's going to be a bounce of the ball, and umpire Peter Cameron will go in and do just that on the Morwell half-forward flank. In the reserve 18, a win to Traralgon by 40 points over Warrigal. The thirds, Warrigal a win over TTU.
Right, desperate stuff gets Morwell forward. Coming in there is a Traralgon defender who escapes me at this stage. Kevin May it was, yes, but knocked away from him and will throw it in about 10 metres around from the Morwell goals. They need to get a goal on the board. 17 points down, in fact 16 now. We've played about 2 minutes of this, the second quarter. Comes back to Traralgon player. He goes down with the ball, gets the hand pass out to Black. Black is getting lots of kicks in this game as the ball travels high and wide and knocked away finally from McCall's hands by Tony Lane.
Peter Black limping slightly too after he kicked into the man over there after he dispatched that ball on a smother.
He'll shrug that aside, will Peter Black. Ball thrown in. Rad, not Rad down there, it's McDonald and Big Slocum go up. Knocked away by Pierce it was in the end, and it'll be thrown in again on centre wing of this, the Vale Street ground. Yes, that's Max Cunico. Graham points out he's a young player on the Traralgon side, knocked back by Pierce, but Bell backs up beautifully for Traralgon, goes towards Albanese. Kirk's there. He's equal to the task, and he knocks it away. This is defensive stuff after a fast and furious opening. Play dying down a bit now as both sides will test each other out. A very important stage of this, the grand final, because Traralgon, well, they've got a 17-point lead or 16-point lead, and... you're waving at me.
Yes, we're just about to take 3TR online again. There's a shot of the crowd. Score 6-4-40, 3-6-24. Tom Standing Real Estate scoreboard as we find it centre wing out of side. Peter Black using his weight as he usually does and using it very effectively but fair. And on that occasion it didn't pay off. It goes to Cunico. He loses possession. It's a bit of a scramble now. It's developing into a pretty tight sort of an encounter, and usually these games are not very high scoring, and to kick 6 in the first quarter by Traralgon is a pretty high score because, as I say, it's usually a battle of defences. Somebody might disagree with that, but that's the way grand finals usually are. They're nerve-filled encounters. The ball, free kick down on the half-forward flank, going to be taken down there by Peter Hall. He hasn't had a kick for a while, Peter Hall. In fact, what will it be? Sixth kick for the match, and I'd say he picked 5 of those up in about the first 10 minutes. The ball high in the air, looking for Lowe. He's going to be smothered to the ground. Trying to take it away there for Traralgon was Bell, couldn't do so. Also in there trying to do something is Peter Birmingham, but the umpire is indicating, I'll have the ball, fellas. And about 35 metres out from that Morwell goal, the bounce of the ball. Nearly a knock to Sanders. The full-back and full-forward went. Chance for a goal coming up, but it's off the boots of Cole McCall wide. Punched over the top of the little fellow Rodney Kerr by the outstretched arms of Robert Popplestone, and it's going to be a throw-in in the Morwell forward pocket.
Yes, right in the Morwell attacking zone. They need goals. The ball thrown in up high this time was Dyer. Knocked away from him, but it's a free kick to Dyer. Across the head, the umpire ruled. That's umpire Cameron down there. Free kick to Jeffrey Dyer in the back pocket. He's going to swing play towards us on the western side, but the umpire says kick over the man on the mark if you're down there, and he's going to do that. He's bringing the ball back. He's going to enforce that rule, and he's going to have to kick over the head of Steve Sanders down there on the mark.
16 points separating the two sides. Traralgon in the ascendancy, around about 4.5 gone in the second quarter.
Camera kicks long towards centre wing. Up high this time is the big fella over there in Pierce, and he's a crucial factor in this Morwell quest for a premiership this year. He's got to start taking the big grabs. He kicks towards centre half forward. Lowe's got to start taking him too. Knocked away from him. Johnson's doing well on him. Comes back to ground. Good play there by Popplestone. Their runners are doing well at Traralgon. He swings the play back towards centre wing. Over the back was Stanistreet with a push in the back toward
Stockdale.
Into Stockdale's back, and he gets the free kick on half-back flank for the Traralgon side. McCollough's being told by umpire Cameron to get back in no uncertain terms. Stockdale's kick straight down the centre wing towards Albanese. Up high is Hayes for Morwell. He can't control it. Comes to Lane. They're scouting well, Traralgon. They get the ball towards Big Rad down there. He lumbers after it. Comes to ground. Now it's knocked away from that Morwell defender in Hayes, or Hall I should say, and it'll be thrown in about 35 metres around from the Traralgon goals.
Yes, it's up the scoreboard end of the ground, and that of course is Traralgon. Oh, gee. Somebody went down there, Rad, like a bag of briquettes. But anyway, he's up and about again. Picked up by Peter Black. Black running the centre. A hand pass wide. He's found his teammate over there in Stockdale. Stockdale's kick is towards the goal, but it's wide for young Stockdale, and it's gone through for just one behind. Mark Stockdale named at full forward, playing in the ruck. Neil Wright sitting down there at full forward. He managed to knot 2 in the first quarter, so that paid off. But at the opposing end of the ground, Steve Sanders, the Morwell spearhead, also managed 2. Colin Metcalf about to kick out. Called for by Dixon. Ignored. Goes the other side of the ground. Pass is good because it finds his skipper, Peter Hall. That's always a wise move to kick it to your skipper. Waiting now for Peter Hall to put it long. He does. He's looking for Dwyer, but Hoban will outpoint him here. Can't mark it cleanly, however. To the ground it goes. Bit of shepherding allows the ball to be picked up by Cashin. Shot back it goes, and a nice mark has been taken by Stanistreet, and his opponent then was Russell Rowe. There's the ball high in the air. Goose Johnson knocks it to the ground. Punched up there on that half-forward flank. It's McCall who picks it up, and eventually picked up by Dwyer. Shot forward. Dyer comes out to have it bounce off his chest for quite a distance. Eventually Dwyer again picks it up, gets it to his running teammate. Up towards the half-forward line it goes, towards the boundary.
Desperate, Traralgon.
And really desperate up in that last line of defence, and that's nearly a free to Cashin over there. The umpire disagrees. Cashin doesn't mind. He breaks the tackle. Looking here for Stockdale. Can't find him. He and Vogel go beautifully. Oh, Jennings gets one high, and Jennings play on is the call. That's the experience of good umpires. Down it goes off the boots of Cashin. The big men fly. By gee, players going down everywhere here. Black towards an open goal. Black beautiful shepherding there as he kicks his third for the afternoon. Traralgon 7-5, 47 to Morwell 3-6, 24.
No signs of that limp, Graham.
Second.
Yes, it's his second. I'll correct that. I thought he got that goal
He is
down the
limping
other
a bit
end.
there on camera, looking at him. Looking a little bit limpy, Blackie, but certainly no signs of it there as we see that replay of his second goal going right through the middle, and a bit loose down there. Huge pack went up for it. Ball bounced free, and Black, the opportunist, was showing the pace that he's got. Just ran away from them, and Morwell powerless to do anything about it. Traralgon playing with desperate stuff on that half-back line. Well on top is Goose Johnson on low. What an unlikely player is Peter Johnson. We've probably been a little bit critical of this player over the years, but today in a grand final he's killing Alan Lowe at centre half-back. Ball knocked away now towards Kerr. Lowy comes in just as you speak. They make fools of you. He comes back to Kerr. Kerr can't control it. He's going to come back on it. Comes back nicely. Gets the hand pass out, but no one in particular because it's Hoban again who backs up for Traralgon. His kick is marked down there by Hayes, the best back pocket in the competition according to the media, and he defends for the Morwell side. They're a bit desperate now, Morwell. They need goals. Up high is Johnson again. Knocks it away. Back to Pierce. He can't control it. Comes back to the running Kerr through Courage. He's going to get the free kick.
Obviously, the instructions from Rowe to Peter Johnson is punch the ball at all times.
At all costs, and stick with him like a glove, and he certainly is doing that. He's been backed up down there too. Comes back to the small player, and Allison gets one a bit technical, but certainly a free kick at right on the point of the square. The Morwell little players not in it today as we see the ball towards full forward. Up high with Sanders, but he can't control it. Comes back to May. They're doing it so well, this back line at Traralgon. They run it clear towards
Birmingham.
This is Birmingham. He's running clear. Come on, Morwell, where are you? Comes back to his third bounce. Birmingham bangs it onto the left boot towards Rad over the back. He's going to take the mark too, the big fella. Gets it to Kirk. Bad hand pass. Umpire will come in, make a decision.
Free kick.
He was legged. and lucky to get out of that, Morwell. But Kirk gets the free kick on a half-back flank.
Yes, we saw a funny one like that in the reserve 18, where a Traralgon player knocked a Warragul player to the ground, and he was dazed, and the Traralgon player tripped over him, and free kick for Traralgon.
Steve Allison kicked towards low. Once again, Johnson wearing him like a gloves. Comes back to Vogel. Vogel's going to go wide. He's now on half-forward flank, Vogel. They've got to lift this half-forward line. The ball comes off Vogel's boots towards Popplestone. He throws it to Jennings. Jennings ducks and weaves right in front of the Morwell coach's box. They won't like that. Towards centre half-forward. Comes off hands. Comes back to Pearce. Hand pass is in nowhere in particular. Comes back to Rad. Rad ducks and weaves. Rad goes towards centre half-forward. That's not Rad. That is Yes, Mark Stockdale. And the mark down there, and another goal towards Cashin off hands. I was just looking at my book. And that was Cashin off hands, and another goal to Traralgon. They go further in front as we've got the gate, I think, Graham.
In excess of 15,000. Echo. The 85 grand final, just giving 3TR listeners a score, and I'll give it again, 8-5-53. The Maroons to Morwell 3-6-24. The gate already has exceeded $15,000. The previous record for a gate in an LVFL grand final was 1984, when, of course, Warragul and Traralgon did battle, and the gate then was 12,400. Bounce in the centre again. The big men fly. Pearce, a big knock. They've got him on the ball now, but it's rowed beautifully by the defence of Popplestone. Gets it down, and Joe Albanese taking it inches from the ground, well in front of Kirk. There's the kick by Joe Albanese. Torpedo, beautiful kick. Travels about 75 metres. Gives the backing player Black an opportunity. Yes, he's picked it up. Can't get boot to ball. Picked up by Wright. Oh, he's got one high, I think. The umpire says he has, and it's going to be Neil Wright to take it down there. Peter Black couldn't quite get boot to ball.
Fierce tackle.
Yes, it was. Craigsman, and he's holding his head. He knows that he's done the wrong thing, but, well, they've only got a split second to think down there, and it doesn't come easy in grand finals. 53 plays 24, and the scoreboard will alter in just a moment, whether by 6 points. It's a pretty acute angle for Neil Wright. He's getting the banana kick. Tell you what, he's kicked a point and not a goal, and it's going to alter by 1, so it goes to 54-24. So we find that as a 30-point advantage on that board.
And we've played how long?
We have played around about 12.5 to 13 minutes in this, the second term.
Pretty handy lead in the grand final, isn't it? As we see David Vogel go off with a short kick towards... it comes back to play there. I was looking at the monitor as we see the ball up high as Stanistreet, but taking the mark there is Hoban.
Best man on ground.
Best man on ground. A great performance at centre half, or the half-back flank, and alongside him, Peter Goose Johnson's not far behind. He's doing a great job on low. We see the ball towards Black. He's a great player for Traralgon too. They've got players everywhere. On half-forward flank, in there is Silvestro. He can't control it. In there is Metcalf. Hand pass comes out to a desperate Morwell player in Kirk, or McAleese, I should say. Up high there is low, but gee, it's all Traralgon. As we see the mark again by Hoban. What a star he is this afternoon. His kick is, hand pass, I should say, is to Bell. Bell towards half-forward flank. In front there was a Traralgon player. He couldn't control it. Comes to ground. The umpire pays a free kick Morwell's way, and that player down there is Colin McColl.
3-6-24 to 8-6-54 is the score, with 30 points separating the two sides. 5 goals as we find Peter Birmingham running into shot. Gets a kick, but it's wide and is going towards the boundary, and the umpire says not on the full, but in fact it's going to be a throw-in on the Morwell half-forward flank. Morwell in this quarter have managed 1 point. Traralgon have kicked 2 goals too, so not a high-scoring quarter compared to 6-4 in the first quarter for the Maroons and 3-5 for Morwell, and we've played around about 14.5 minutes. Out of that half-forward flank it comes for the Morwell side, picked up by Stephen Allison, tries to run the pack, gets it across to brother David, or was it Cole McColl, down towards that forward line, punched away from low. Who's going to pick this one up? It's going to be charged towards the boundary. It's Dwyer. Dwyer gets scragged before he gets a clean kick in. Nicely picked up by May, but his kick is a shocker, and it's over the line and out of bounds, and Henderson is off the ground again in the trainer's box here, and it's going to now be a throw-in, so it must have been touched off boot. So it's going to be a throw-in still on the Morwell half-forward flank. There's Peter Henderson in your screen there, his father John over his left shoulder, president of the Morwell club. The ball now trying to be taken away. It's a hand pass. There's that man again, Hoban, getting a kick in. Down towards the centre wing. Black tries, can't. The umpire says free, going to Colin Metcalf, one of the old stagers of this Morwell side. Cole Metcalf now with a right foot torpedo. He's a good kick of the ball, and on that occasion no exception. Up goes Goose Johnson, punches away again from low. Bell backs up, can't get away with it. It's going to be a bounce of the ball by umpire Peter Cameron. Howe and Cameron in charge of the game. The gate in excess of 15,000, And we have played about 15 minutes in this, the second quarter, with Traralgon leading by 30 points.
Yes, it's a pity the crowd is not seeing a more closer game, because we see the ball go forward and Dyer in front again of Sanders. Comes out. Effortless play by that defence. We see the ball on centre wing. Metcalf's there, but so is Albanese for Traralgon. He goes for the hand pass. They're under pressure now, Morwell. They're drawing one. They're drawing another. Comes out wide, this time to Cunico. Cunico on left boot. Bangs it towards goal and offline and through for one behind. And they go out to a 31-point lead, this Traralgon side. And that's 5 goals. And a pretty good lead halfway through the second quarter.
Interesting, Peter Hall and Russell Rowe gone out of this game.
Yes, indeed.
The two skippers, and we were saying it was a
Russell Rowe, three kicks only, Graham.
He's 3 kicks, Russell Rowe. Peter Hall about 6, I would say. So certainly no great influence on this game, but of course their marshalling and architecture, that goes
I think
unknown.
that was what we were really talking about, the fact that the legend at Traralgon had gone to Morwell and was now coaching his old side against his old side, and Rowe, the new broom at Traralgon after a watershed after last year's grand final. Is this going to be the year of the Maroons? Well, we've got another half of football to decide it, but certainly at this stage it looks like Traralgon's year 85.
Yes, they're doing it well, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of water to travel under the bridge yet. There's a chance. Half forward flank for the Maroons. Hand passing finds Dixon. Dixon gets it out there, looking for and finding the running player in McAleese. McAleese sends it wide. Now they go forward again. Picked up over there by Peter Hall. That's his 7th kick, I think. To the ground it goes. Half forward flank for the Maroons. Nearly a free kick to Traralgon. Still hand passing. Finding the big Slocum there. Gets it down towards the goals. Running in there, trying to pick it up is Stephen Allison. I tell you what, if that's not a great goal. Hit the post. Bad luck to Stephen Allison. That's a great little effort there, son. If that had been a goal, it would have been the goal of the day. A fantastic effort.
Let's have a look at the replay. Allison hooks it back over the shoulder. How stiff can you be? They really desperately needed that one, and it just hit the post.
That's his second behind for the quarter. Back live now as the ball is in the arms of Popplestone, and Dixon giving him a bit of a rough up there on the half-back flank. There's the hand pass to the running Tony Lane. Lane onto that left boot of his. Not a good-looking kick. Doesn't give anyone a chance. For Kirk's in there. So too is the big fellow in Rad. The ball drops to the ground. The umpire will come in and slightly towards the Traralgon scoring the zone on the half-forward flank. A bounce of the ball. 8-7 plays 3-7, so we find exactly 5 goals the difference. Big knock finds Allison. It's David Allison. His left foot kick down. Here's Hoban coming in, but nearly a mark there to Lowe. The umpire hasn't paid it. He's caught by everybody. The roving there is to David Allison, to McColl. McColl up towards Stephen Allison. He's grabbed, we're not in possession, and the umpire says free kick will go now against Peter Birmingham to Stephen Allison with number 8 stamped on his back.
Stephen Allison a chance again to make amends for that hit the post towards Hall down there in the pocket, punched it away, but Bell's there. So is Dyer. Get the hand pass to Hoban. Effortless play again by this Traralgon defence, well on top. Johnson just about takes the mark, but Stanistreet always there. He kicks the ball high, but not very long. Hoban again just about takes that mark, can't. Comes back to Rowe. He's grabbed without the ball, and free kick will go to the captain coach of this Traralgon side, who has the new look in this pretty attacking Traralgon side today.
Johnny Mills suggested a coach's free kick.
Yes, although I thought he deserved it, every bit of it. I thought he put his body in there and got grabbed and got the free kick at centre half back. Russell Rowe kicks the ball towards the centre of the ground, nice and long towards Albanese. He's got plenty of opposition, as his opposite number in Lowe certainly has down the other end of the ground. The umpire will come in and bounce.
Having a look at the clock, we find about 19 minutes gone in the second quarter, and Traralgon, they are leading 8-7, 55 to 3-7, 25. They go. Nice knock to Pierce over Bones Johnson. The Rovers, however, are in maroon colours. This time Cashin after off the hands of Black. Nice mark there to Cole Metcalf, one of the old stalwarts of this Morwell side, and doing a pretty good job. There's the kick by Metcalf round towards the centre wing. They fly. Morwell hands go, but nobody can possess it cleanly. Eventually picked up and shot forward by Morwell there very nicely as they send it down by Peter Hall towards that wing division, and it's over the line, dropping the ball, the umpire said, and it's going to be a free kick taken right over on that out of sight of the ground, and it's going to be taken by Robbie Dixon.
Dixon on centre wing, bangs it towards centre half forward. Time running out of this first half for the Morwell side. They need goals, punched away by Lowe, and he's wearing Dyer and Goose Johnson like a glove today. Lowe, he must be getting very frustrated out there, because they certainly are giving him plenty of attention. The ball thrown in. Sanders goes up high, but Stanistreet grabs it from the pack. He goes towards goal, bounces nicely for Morwell. Maybe this is the opportunity to Allison. Allison runs it towards goal, bangs it on its way, offline again, Stephen Allison.
His
and
third
they're starting
point
to shake their heads.
for the quarter.
Is this Morwell side starting to think things are going against them? It appears that way because things certainly aren't going for them. They're kicking offline when they should be kicking goals. They go to 3-8-26 to 8-7-55. 29 points in it.
Yes, interestingly enough, Morwell have only kicked 3 points in this quarter, and they've all been attributed to Stephen Allison, and Traralgon have kicked 2 goals, 3 in this quarter. The ball now, we're watching it coming off that half-back flank division by Alan Jennings for Traralgon. Punched to the ground by the Morwell defence. The running player is David Allison towards the boundary, but it's over the line and out of bounds as he and Hoban contest, and once again a throw-in right on the outer side of the ground. And this ground is absolutely chock-a-block here today. This is country footy at its best, in excess of $15,000. Forget the pre-sold tickets, because I'd say they're all here. The ball to the ground is picked up over there by Dean Cashin. Can't get the run of it. Kicks it off the ground. Gets it to Tony Lane. Lane turns. Decides on a hand pass. Now a kick. Gets it towards the centre half forward division. Silvestro, the smaller player. But Big Bones Johnson gets it out to Stockdale. He gets dispossessed. It booms its way out towards Peter Hall. He can't pick it up. Stockdale can't either. Must be like a slippery peg, I think, that ball. Oops, there's a player dragged out of the pack. And the umpire says it's a free kick, and it's Brett Stanistreet, the recipient of that free, in the centre of the ground. 8-7 to 3-8 as we find 26 plays 55. The Maroons in command.
Stanistreet again looking for low, knocked away again by Johnson. Isn't this getting boring? As we see the ball come back to
playing well.
Jennings. He's playing well, ruck roving. He's relishing that role on the ball. The ball comes wide towards Stockdale, or Rad is it down there?
Yeah,
I think it's Rad.
desperate.
He's under pressure from Hayes. Free kick though goes to Rad, and he attacked that ball with great venom. Umpire Howe says you didn't give it back properly, Hayes. That was silly stuff. He rolled it along the ground when he could easily have just given it to him in the air, and deserved to get a 15-metre penalty, which he did. Rad's kick towards up high is right. Gee, they're nursing him down there in the pocket. And when you're attacking and you've got a big fella like that lurking, pretty handy. Neil Wright's just taken a mark for 3DR listeners, 10 metres out on the angle, and could kick his third for the afternoon. And Traralgon's at 9th. They're 29 points up at this stage. We've played about halfway through this, the second quarter, and Traralgon could go 35 points up. We've played 20 minutes, I should say, and that one is right through the centre. Neil Wright, you're doing your job in that forward pocket, and that's the 9th for the Traralgon side. They go to 9-7-61, leading the Morwell side, who are 3-8-26, and it looks all Traralgon in this, the first half of 85's grand final. Replay on TV8 cameras. Beautiful shot of that goal going through the middle from the boots of Neil Wright. They're nursing him down there. He hasn't played for 3 or 4 weeks, Righty, but he's 6'5". He's lurking in a forward pocket, and he's kicked 3 goals.
Yes, they're doing very well, especially that half-back line of Hoban, Goose Johnson and Peter Birmingham.
Throwing Kevin May and Dyer.
Kevin High and Bell. Let's throw him in, the entire back line. Look at the concentration on Bones Johnson as he goes up there. He's going to contest with Pearce. Doesn't matter about concentration. Pierce gets it, but the roving is done by Jennings for the Maroons. He gets it down towards the half-forward line. McKirk picks it up. No, he can't pick it up. He allows his teammate to go in. He can't pick it up either. Very slippery, that ball for Morwell. Picked up there by Metcalf. A long kick around centre wing. Cashin is the player underneath it. Will he get to it before the boundary? He does. Tries to get a hand pass into Black, but it's smothered very nicely over there, and it's over the line and out of bounds. Tom Standing Real Estate scoreboard. Traralgon 9-7-61. A very handy lead over Morwell 3-8-26. There's the ball to the ground, picked up over there by Henderson, who's back on the ground. Henderson up towards the low direction. That's the mark that Alan Lowe has taken in front of Goose Johnson. Only the second for the afternoon. The short pass, the leading player is Sanders, and Sanders has taken the mark in front of Jeffrey Dyer.
Well, you've got good shots of those, the 2 big key forwards at this Morwell side. They're the 2 players who are very important that they come good. Steve Sanders now, 35 metres out, 45-degree angle, could just about drop this one through. He's kicked 2 so far in the first quarter. This could be his first for the quarter. It should have come back nicely by... Gee, it's just going to sneak in. Nice goal by Steve Sanders. A replay, that'll be a nice one, because that was a good goal by the big fella. Languished in the 2s, of course, all year, but now, given a chance, he's doing his bit at full forward. That's his 3rd, and a badly needed one for the Morwell side as we watch the replay on TV8 cameras.
Yes, interestingly enough, that is the first goal that Morwell have kicked in this quarter, and it's come up at about the 24-minute mark, and it's accurate.
See it come around.
And it just sneaks its way in with a left break. That's the third for Steve Sanders, the fourth for Morwell. They go to 4.8.31. They still trail by 30 points. Traralgon 9.7.61. Morwell going forward now up towards David Allison, but it's the running Birmingham who'll contest him. Allison a bit quicker on the boots and over the line and out of bounds. Half forward flank for Morwell on the southern end of this, the Moe Vale Street Oval, which I might say is in fantastic condition.
Slocum back on the ball.
61
back
to
on the
32.
ground for Morwell. Cuts up high, gets it towards Dixon. Dixon gets it towards Kerr. He's bundled aside by Jennings. He's tackled by David Allison. Big Slocum dives, and I can't save it from going out of bounds. It'll be thrown in about 10 metres around from the Morwell box on the western side of the Vale Street ground.
Just correcting the score, 32 plays 61, so it's 29 points.
And not enough goals for Morwell, as we see Dixon desperately trying to save it, but he can't. It's all Traralgon as they run forward in threes. Comes to Lane, Lane to Albanese, Albanese across to Kerr, to Black. This is confident stuff. Black dwelled on by Stanistreet. Comes back to Popplestone. He dodges a bump. Comes back to Kerr. Oh, Rowe got one high then. Gets another one too from Stanistreet. Comes back to Black. Black's hand. Oh, he's met solidly and thrown to the ground. That was
Rowe
Black.
has not risen.
Rowe certainly copped one then. He's in a bit of pain because he did get one. And just out of shot there, you can see him in the hands of the trainers, but there he is there, and certainly nursing one then. He'll know he got that one low in the rib cage. As we see the ball back in play now, comes off her hands from the ball. Allison running for Morwell. They need to get going, the two Allison boys. We see the ball towards Sanders and Lowe. They can't mark it. Big pack fall to the ground. Goose Johnson holds his ground and beats Kerr, and will be thrown in right in front of the ground. Kerr's coming off. He looks very sore indeed, and coming straight off the ground by the trainers, and looks like he might have done a collarbone.
I don't think so. I think it might be down near the rib area.
Very
He's holding
painful.
his stomach. Anyway, the umpire now is indicating a free kick to the Morwell side. That wasn't thrown back correctly. It's going to Robbie Kerr, the Rodder Medal Trude Award winner for 1985. And Rowe is holding his ribs and going into the rooms. Picked up there by Kerr, shot forward, 10-metre square stuff, high. By gee, there's a good grab.
Low.
No. Yes, the umpire is going to pay it, I think.
No, free kick.
A free kick has gone here. By gee, there was a pack of players there, multitudes of them. I would say about 8 or 9 in that pack, and I thought Lowe just about held it. But it's Goose Johnson, the player who's doing a great job on Lowe, who drives it out towards the outer half-back flank. Bit of nudging goes on there. Slocum tried but couldn't. Picked up by Stanistreet. He's got nowhere to go. The long hand pass finds Doggy Vogel. Played with Traralgon last year. Back with his beloved Morwell. Left foot kick. Down it goes. Low trying to take it off the pack. Can't do much with it. And it's going to be a bounce of the ball 30 to 35 metres out from the Morwell goal. We've played about 27 minutes, a low-scoring quarter, so probably only about a minute and a half to go. And it's 9-7-61. That's the Traralgon tally to Morwell 4-8-32. 29 points in the ascendancy. Their skipper Rowe off the ground. We'll get a report on him from our roving reporters John White and or Mike Answorth in a few moments if they have one. The ball is about to be bounced 35 metres out from the Morwell goal. A goal here they certainly need.
Desperately need it. 29 points coming up to half-time. Morwell trail. They've got it in their attacking zone. Hall tries to battle it on. Comes back to Dixon. Dixon off the pack. Bangs it towards goal. The big yellow and black streamers go up, but sorry, no goal to that. 1 point. They need goals desperately, this Morwell side. 29 points now, 28 they trail. And I think that's ribs, as someone indicates from the down there, that Russell Rowe might have a couple of broken ribs, but a grand final win would certainly nurse him back to health. As we see the ball off the boots of Dyer, falls a bit short towards Stanistreet, but it's going to be a Morwell mark over there, over the head of Stanistreet, and it comes to McColl. Get on with it, boys, because you're trailing by 28 points at this stage, and you need goals.
This quarter.
Kicked long by McColl, but Lowe just can't control that. Off the pans of the pack, comes to Henderson. Has he kicked the magic goal? He has. The crowd goes up. It's a goal off the boots of Peter Henderson, who, by the way, is limping quite badly over there as he goes back towards half-forward flank. Let's have a replay of that. I'd like to see it. Here it comes. Oh, gee, it seemed to go off the body of a player there, but it must have beaten Hoban, certainly arguing. And free kick. Sorry, score 9-7-61. I wish you wouldn't do that, Graham. To 5-8, 5-9-39. I knew we'd have problems.
Yes, well, it was Peter Henderson who just put a goal through off the pack. He rode the pack well, and a much-needed one there for the Morwell side. Just repeating, Russell Rowe is off the ground, and one of the trainers, actually one of the Morwell trainers, who's probably the very experienced Ray Morgan. There's Rowe in the box, actually, and he has rib problems. If they're not busted, I'd say they'd be very sore. I haven't had a rib injury, but they tell me they are very, very painful affairs.
Very painful to breathe, even.
Yeah.
There's the bounce of the ball in the centre, coming up to half-time here of the 85 grand final. May takes it off the pack, sends it forward. Morwell do not want a goal here, I can tell you, and Metcalf has received the free, and that's against John McDonald, who came on to replace Russell Rowe, who would be very disappointed, might be having to sit the rest of this 85 grand final out in the box.
Metcalf's kick is towards the centre of the ground, low lurking, but in the front, in the pack, was Big Bones Johnson, who's doing a great but unsung sort of a job in the ruck as he gets the ball to Jennings. Jennings goes wide to Albanese. Up high was Pearce. Comes to Hayes. He gets knocked out of the way, but to no avail because it's half-time, and we see the score 9-7-61. Traralgon, very good first half, leading Morwell at half-time, 5-9. 39, and we'll come back with a summary right after this break.
Again, we find activity. Thank you, Gil from 3TR, and welcome back to TV8 viewers. We will tell you that the score is 9-7-61 for Traralgon. Morwell 22 points behind with 5-9-39, and very luckily a goal there in the final minutes to Peter Henderson off the pack to just give them perhaps a little bit more heart going in at half-time. There's Russell Rowe on the screens talking to the boys. Very painful too, I imagine, in that rib cage because he has gone off. Mike Answorth is out there in the middle of the ground, and we're going to have the presentation of the Colin Watson Holden Barina, which has been won by a Bensdale lady, and you can drop your hand now, Mark Lee, because here is Mike Answorth.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year the Latrobe Valley Football League has conducted a bonanza raffle which culminated on the 11th of September with the drawing of the major prize, which was a Holden Barina made available by Colin Watson Holden. The lucky winners of the Holden Barina were Mrs. Piera and Mrs. Jordan of Bensdale. Unfortunately, they can't be with us here today, but David Jordan, Mrs. Jordan's son, is here to accept the brand new car. And so to present it, I would introduce to you Mr. Colin Watson.
Thank you, Michael. Michael, just before I give the keys for the car to David, I would like to say that it's been a big thrill for my company to be involved in this promotion. It has been the first of its kind in Gippsland, which has enjoyed enormous success. My company has only been here for 12 months, and in that short time we have received a lot of support from the people in Gippsland. It gives me a great deal of personal pleasure to put some of that money back into the local community. David, on behalf of Colin Watson Holden, I would like you to give you the keys for the Barina, and I hope that you and your family have many happy miles of motoring.
On behalf of my mother and Mrs. Piera, I'd just like to apologise for them not being here because of prior commitments. I'd like to thank Colin Watson for the donation of the car and Joe Hutchison for all his help. I'd just like to thank all the Bairnsdale people who bought tickets in the raffle and say that Bairnsdale will be there next year. Oh. It's weird.
Thank you very much, Colin, for your wonderful sponsorship, which resulted in over $60,000 being raised by Latrobe Valley clubs. During the final series, we've been proud to provide some excellent travel prizes associated with the finals tickets, and these have been made available by the Gippsland travel team. Brian O'Reilly from Billingsley Travel, John Daniels from Travel Plus in Warrigal, and Tony Stewart from Tony Stewart Travel in Bensdale. Today is the last of our draws, where we draw the winner of a 14-day P&O cruise. And I'd ask the three travel team men to come forward and somebody to make the official draw. All the tickets from everybody in attendance today are in the barrel here, and I think Tony Stewart's going to draw it, is he? Brian O'Reilly from Billingsley Travel. And somebody's going to win 14 days on a P&O cruise. He's gone right to the bottom of the barrel. 2 prizes have gone to Warrigal so far, and here's third one, Mr. Don Graham of 15 Baronia Street, Warrigal. He's the lucky winner of the P&O cruise. And we'd just like to thank the Gippsland Travel Team for their marvellous sponsorship during this season. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, thank you to Mike Ensworth, to Tony Stewart, John Daniel there, and the boys, and Brian O'Reilly from Billingsley's. Some great prizes going off there. There's somebody flat out in the...
Yeah.
Thanks, Gil. We're just looking here on the television. There's somebody very flat out. It looks like the physique of Peter Black, I would think. I don't know down there.
No,
We're just about to swing around. Who is it?
Stockdale.
Stockdale, is it? In the rooms there. The
Ron
score
Mills
here at
is good, isn't he?
half-time.
Lives in north central Victoria, hasn't seen the player before, and picks him out in one.
5-9-39
From the
is...
top of his head, I might say.
5-9-39 is the Morwell tally to 9-7-61. The goal scorers for the Traralgon side have been Dean Cashin, Rick Hoban. Peter Black has kicked 2, 3 to Neil Wright, 1 in that quarter and 2 in the first. Tony Lane has kicked 1, and Joseph Albanese has kicked 1. The Morwell goal kickers have been Steve Sanders has kicked 3 of the 5, and the other 2 have been kicked by Stephen Allison and Peter Henderson. Just repeating that Russell Rowe has gone off with sore ribs, and we don't know how bad that injury is, and certainly wouldn't like to comment on it. We're not medical people, but I would be very surprised to see him coming back on. He looks pretty sick and sore. He's in there talking to the boys at the moment. Well, we've said it 1,000 times. Chris Bell doing very well in that back pocket. The unsung hero, as Richard mentioned, is Bones Johnson. Birmingham playing quite well, probably not as well as the other 2 half-back flankers, but doing a serviceable job. Cashin dipping in and out and picking up some kicks, as is Popplestone and Jennings. Hoban, the dominant player on the back line, along with Goose Johnson. Peter Black, ever dangerous, as he always is. Kevin May and Dyer combining particularly well. Neil Wright kicked 3 goals. I suspect they'd like a few more from this fellow, but he's doing a good job up there after being out for quite a number of weeks. Jimmy Silvestro roving nicely. Peter Johnson, I've mentioned at centre half-back, doing a great job on Lowy. Max Cunico hasn't done much to this stage, but hasn't been on the ground all that long. Mark Stockdale, he's contributing. Tony Lane is a contributor, as is Rad. John McDonald replaced Rose, so he hasn't been on long. And Joe Albanese, whilst only kicking 1 goal, has looked particularly dangerous.
The story of the Traralgon story is just a winning, dominant back line, which has been superb. Right across that half-back line, Hoban, Johnson and May. Dyer's doing a great job at full back, and so is Bell buttering up in that back pocket. It's a superb back line. It's defiant, it's determined, it's attacking, it's doing everything right so far. And they've restricted Morwell to 5-9, and that's testimony to the great pressure that this Traralgon back line, which is unsung again, really. It's not star-studded by any means, and but today it's been a superb performance, and it's certainly in the mould of the Russell Rowe coaching. Nothing flashy, nothing stylish, but by gee effective. And
be interesting to see what effect him going off the ground has got on this Traralgon side. Is it good coaching from the box, or is it the coaching that he does out on the ground?
I think we said the game was going to be a battle of coaches, as we see one of the more glamorous attendants of the game here, and there's some glamorous Traralgon footballers if you're a Traralgon supporter. The battle of the coaches was just the build-up between the two personalities in Rowe and Hall, and they're both dominant, I suppose, personalities in Latrobe Valley football. Rowe's emerged. Hall, of course, is a legend. So, really, I don't think Rowe off the ground, sure, he's been a good player, but I wouldn't expect the Traralgon side to go to pieces. I think his discipline and his attention to detail in this Traralgon side will be borne out. Looking at the more good players, there are a few of them.
Pretty hard to find, though, aren't
yes,
they?
Indeed. I would have thought that their best player probably is Stanistreet in the centre. He's really battled hard. He's done everything for his club. He's played over 200 games, record player, record holder down, in fact 240 games for the Morwell Football Club. He died for the Tigers, Brett Stanistreet, and he's doing everything well against overwhelming odds in the centre of the ground. Metcalf, I think, is a good player in the back line. Another one of the unsung heroes, went out to mid-Gippsland a couple of years ago, back playing in a grand final. Mark Pearce, I don't know whether he's done quite enough, Mark, but maybe that's the fact that he's lurking or left languishing on centre wing. He's got to be in that ruck. He's got to be on the ball. You've got to have your good players where the ball is. But Mark Pearce has done things right. Steve Sanders has kicked 3. He's done pretty well. Stephen Allison inaccurate and kicked 3 points in that second quarter. But still a ball getter and a goer. David Ellison's getting caught. Alan Lowe being well held. He's taken 2 marks. which is unlike Alan Lowe. He's had a great final series, but Goose Johnson doing a great job as we go to John Mills with some stats.
Yes, well, I
just
think
interrupting you, Millsy,
yes,
just a nice shot then of Russell Rowe being bandaged in the rooms. Great shot there of the, this is really, as the news happens, we bring it to you.
Yes, well, Graham, the leading players on the ground for Traralgon are backed up by his statistics with the exception of Goose Johnson, who's playing very well. Alan Jennings has had 10 kicks, 5 in each quarter. Cashin has had 10 kicks. Rick Hoban's had 9 kicks and 6 marks. I have a special thing for Rick Hoban. I remember 1980, he was best on ground.
You have a long memory, John.
Peter Black, 6 kicks. Neil Wright played very well at full forward. 5 kicks and 3 marks and 3 goals. Stockdale, 6 kicks. Tony Lane, 9 kicks. And Joe Albanese, 6 kicks and 3 hand passes.
Winners everywhere.
For Morwell, Peter Hall's had 8 kicks. David Vogel, 7. Alan Lowe, 5 kicks and 3 marks, which is a bit of a testimony to Peter Johnson, I think. David Allison, 8 kicks and 3 hand passes. Steve Allison, 7 kicks and 2 hand passes. Brett Stanistreet, 9 kicks and 1 hand pass. Cole McColl, 9 kicks and 3 hand passes. And they drop away pretty quickly after that. The overall tallies, just for the record, Morwell and Traralgon both have had 93 kicks. Morwell, 26 marks, Traralgon, 20. And handballs, 28 to Morwell, 38 to Traralgon. And free kicks are 24 to Morwell and 15 to Traralgon. I think I have a personal theory that when a side gives away a lot of free kicks, it's often they are the ones who are the most desperate.
Yes,
and they sometimes make mistakes under desperation.
Yes, there's the Hawthorn Footscray tally there too. 4 points to the Hawks at half-time, I imagine. Interestingly enough there, Traralgon have had, I think, about 10 more handballs, did you say?
Yes.
Yes, I think they've overused the handball a bit.
Yes, but it's winning the game for them at the minute because they've been able to break the game up through the centre of the ground.
Okay, thank you, John. The score at half-time is 9-7-61. That's the tally at the moment for the Traralgon side. 9-7-61 to 5-9-39 for Morwell. That's a 22-point lead. Rowe being strapped up. Will he come back on? That's the question. The umps are out. We'll take this break and be back live for the 1985 Grand Final from Moe.